He has a fifer, his third fifer in Test match cricket, and that in his first Test match on his home territory.
And will he have that type of impact in this Test match? I'm sure he's motivated playing in front of his home crowd. Three slips and a gully. We'll look at his speeds as well. He's X-factor pace. Shamar Joseph, first ball in this second Test. Will surely inspire a few Guyanese to take up fast bowling. Stacey and King.
Yeah, they look just as eager. As well as his humble beginnings in terms of where he's come from, his struggles coming through. And he just adds to this West Indies lineup of really good bowling. Yeah, they've asked some questions of the South African batters. Until this happened, the breakthrough by Jaden Seals.
Eight run-less deliveries bowled by Jaden Seals before he got the wicket of Tony De Zorzi. So that is the extreme discipline and control shown by him with the ball in his opening spell so far. How is that? That's the cry from Shamar Joseph. Joshua De Silva suggesting height, the issue. Not supporting the review on this occasion.
Really seemed to have surprised Tristan Stubbs. Just the speed. And this is what he's known for, Shamar Joseph. In his first Test series against Australia, he bowled at an average speed of 139. Yeah, just looking at that delivery, definitely height was questioned, which is why Brathwaite did not go up. So it's a good decision.
Umpire Sahid Saikat making the right call initially. Like by the signal, so Shamar Joseph just working up some pace here. He's a skiddy type customer, might extract the bounce that you often see from Jason Holder. And there he is from Bangladesh, starting very well in this Test match. Hassan Raza, who presided in the first Test, continues here in this second Test match. Hails from Pakistan. End of the seventh, 16 for 1.
Terrific from Shamar Joseph, playing in a home Test match for the first time. He can be wide on the crease at times and get it to straight.
Yeah, I really enjoy watching him operate. He's creating an angle again. You can see he's jumping out a little bit, creating the ball to come back at the right-hander on the angle, but when you release it, he has that away swinging ability. Yeah, he's going to get Tristan Stubbs to play at most of his deliveries. I suppose the difficulty with a bowler like this, Bishi, is we've seen him nip one back, so he's created that element of doubt in the batter's mind. You're not sure which to leave and which to let go. That's why I'm saying I really enjoy shorter in stature, but skiddy at the batsman. That's how they've operated today. You can see 61% on a good length. But I just have a feeling on this particular surface, you want to edge a little closer to that 6 meter mark. Yeah, Bees, you spoke with great excitement this morning coming to the venue about the possibility of a West Indies series win. Of course, it's a feat that's never been achieved by the West Indies over South Africa. I certainly feel that this first session will play a big part in the outcome of this test match.
Well, Vernon, I think it's a significant test match for both teams. Because as we mentioned in 1992, when these two teams met, South Africa coming out of isolation and coming back into the international game, the West Indies won that test match in Barbados. That constituted the series then, but in a multi-game series, the West Indies have not won. So this is, we'll get good weather. I think more than likely a conclusion to the test match. More than likely, I would say. And for South Africa, it is significant for them because they are searching for vital World Test Championship points. And to defend a very strong record against the West Indies, having never lost that multi-test match series, and having not lost to the West Indies since, what, 2007. So for both these teams, it is vital.
So South Africa opting to have the left arm seaman Andre Berger. Certainly feel out and out quick. He'd certainly be able to aid a KG Rabada in terms of that potency department. I just feel that that is a much more balanced team for me. If you look at it, you've got off-spin covered, Dane Pitt, and you can have a Vian Mulder and Aiden Markram to do the holding job for you from time to time. But you've got strike power. That's what you need on surfaces like these. Yeah, I just get a feeling Shamar Joseph, his length perhaps a touch too short. You perhaps want to just go a little bit fuller. But also you don't want to lose the intensity on the ball. I think from time to time when we speak about going a touch fuller, bowlers do become a touch floaty. So you want to make sure that you keep the same velocity behind the ball when you do go with that touch fuller. But there's a little something in the surface this morning.
Top man, his first test match wicket at home here in Guyana. And it is a big one. And he has gone a touch fuller. Top of off is perfect.
Yeah, we're talking about that length. We ask him to go a touch fuller. And on this occasion, you can see he's beaten Aiden Markram, all ends up. It's that wobble seam. He's not sure which way it's going. It's nipping back, and that is what the coach asked for. Chop off. Yeah, he's in the wickets in his hometown. Shamar Joseph. Well, Aiden Markram, he goes for 14. South Africa 20 for 2.
Temba Bavuma looked in good touch in Trinidad for his half century and a little of his batting in the second innings, and he's been in wonderful form in the last 3 years, averaging over 45. Length, what a moment from the boy from Barakara.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. That is what every coach, every fast bowling coach will be crying out for his seamers to do. He's nipped a couple away, and on this occasion, the one nipping back, yeah, Aiden Markram in absolutely no man's land. It's that wobble seam, and that is jagged back a mighty long way. Yeah, someone needs to catch him.
Vernon, I don't know how to tell the story, but you know I give the analysts and the ball tracking a lot of stick, and they deserve it a lot of the time. But our analyst, Soham, spent eons of time yesterday putting together a request I had about, and he went back 5 years, and he did almost every dismissal of Markram over the last 5 years. And if there were 20 dismissals, what his video of every dismissal showed us that a tight line off stump on a length is the key to almost 18 or 19 of those dismissals against Markram. And that is what the West Indies did, apart from that first over this morning. There he is again, Shamar Joseph.
Yeah, I think what he does superbly well, Shamar Joseph, he's almost dragging into the shot from time to time. You see Temba Bavuma having watched the ball before this. He's almost forced to play that bish because you're not sure whether the one's going to come back at you or just go straight on. And that is excellent. That's an excellent piece of skill to have. Element of doubt that's been planted, that seed's been planted.
It goes up, 2 in the over for Shamar Joseph. They haven't reviewed it yet. Temba's taking his time. And he has to go off. They made the change, the West Indies, to get Shamar Joseph into the lineup today. And in the early goings, he's rewarding them.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant again. And it's that one nipping back at the right-hander. Temba Bavuma, the previous one, has gone straight on. And yeah, he's got his man. Second wicket in the over for Shamar Joseph. And this is an impressive morning for the West Indies. Bavuma goes for none. South Africa 20 for 3.
David Bedingham, that test average in the early goings of his test career is good, a first-class average in general over 50. Spent a lot of time at Durham. In fact, he was considering, wasn't he, early in the pandemic, about being English qualified until he got the call to come back home for international favour. No short leg. He's a back foot player largely. Strong on the pull, even though he fell to it in Trinidad. As Joseph go full again. What an over. His community, his village, his country will be pining.
Bedingham off the mark with a couple. Yeah, tell us, how challenging is it really first day of the test match with that preparatory moisture in?
Hello, Sam. Greetings, everyone. Of course, as an opening batter in test match cricket on day one, it's about forming your opinion about the pitch, the conditions, the opposition bowlers. You take a little bit of time to conclude. Playing a miss. Shamar Joseph continues to probe. So there are a multiplicity of factors that you got to consider, and surely on this National Stadium pitch, it's the seam of the surface, the swing that is on offer, and of course the variations among the different bowlers used by the West Indies. Jason Holder more height, a little bit shorter in length. Shamar Joseph shorter, more skiddy, much more pace.
Huge shot, might have been the part on the way through. So no chance of a caught behind in my view. And also with the LBW outside the line of the off stump. But a decision for Craig. Doesn't seem to be too convinced about either of those two opportunities. And I think it's a good decision by the umpire as well as Craig.
Scrambled seam delivery just coming into the right-handed Bedingham. Quite significantly, Joshua Da Silva catching the ball ankle height, so that bounce lowering obvious on day one.
Yeah, flayed away backward of point. First boundary for Bedingham, just a smidgen of width, but enough for him to free his arms.
He comes across as a very confident batter. Bedingham starts his innings with a great degree of confidence. He trusts his ability, his skill sets. Don't come across as a conservative batter. You often see that in number 4 batters, number 5 batters who are usually very fluent in their style and their approach to run scoring.
What a delivery, what a riposte from Shamar Joseph. Struck for 4 previously and all he can do is smile. Too good to get the outside edge. What a spell this has been so far from the young man from Guyana, angling in, scramble seam, and then that movement off the surface. Absolute peach. Shamar Joseph did get Bedingham LBW before in South Africa, West Indies A against South Africa A 2023, so he might have that bit of memory, but this has been exceptional fast bowling, high quality. And again, another play and a miss, probing and the smile, familiar sight, 26 for 3. So as a batter then, Darren, in terms of that low bounce, and especially for a South African batter, this is what he has done. Played left and edge from Shamar Joseph. Your muscle memory, your instinct, everything tells you once that ball pitches a certain length, you play a particular shot. How difficult is it then to adjust and adapt?
It's very challenging. I'll tell you that. That's why not many players master batting in Test match cricket, because they find it very difficult to adapt and adjust to conditions that are foreign to them and foreign to where they've been brought up. So straight away, as a batter, you must have the flexibility to align your approach to batting to the conditions if they are significant. And as you can see, Tristan Stubbs is working very hard on trying to get his front foot beyond that popping crease. Get to the length of the ball. We haven't seen him go with the horizontal bat stroke. And 14 overs into the 15th over is a fairly good sample size for you to conclude how to score runs. And how to score runs on this type of surface. A lot of that has to do with how you process information that you gather whilst at the crease. Very good players, the longer they stay out in the middle, they take more control for run scoring, and then putting that pressure back onto bowlers and taking the advantage. And that is what Tristan Stubbs, Bedingham will be trying to achieve in this partnership.
edge and short again, so not much pace from the surface. We'll get another couple runs fortuitously. Might be looking for 3. Yeah, gets 3. Good running in the end. Good awareness as well. So again, beating or getting rather the outside edge of the bat. We've seen quite a few of these, but falling comfortably short of the slip fielder.
Soft hands once more from Tristan Stubbs. So if I'm a Kyle Verena, Vian Mulder, I will straight away know that if I'm to do well in terms of run scoring, I may have to look more to the V, to that mid-off, mid-on region to score. Wouldn't be setting myself for cutting the ball, pulling the ball on this surface, although the opportunities might come, but sparingly. But you play the probabilities and you weigh up the options.
Yeah, likes to score and feel the bat on the ball. And certainly that's what we got from his innings in the first test, Bedingham. So Tristan Stubbs employ his white ball skill set in the second innings, some reverse sweeps when they needed to score quickly. Different situation today. And these two will be challenged in a different sort of manner, particularly Tristan Stubbs. 34 for 3. Inside edge, he's been, I think the pace has been good. His lengths generally have been good. Seems to be fired up and inspired because of the fact that he's playing at home for the first time at this level. Let's look at these deliveries, folks. Eventually, Aidan Markram left one on the stumps, and then Temba Bavuma didn't last too long. Followed it up with some brilliant deliveries. Just the 2 wickets, though. Could have been a couple more.
And evidence that you can't really play comfortably off the back foot, although the length might be a back foot length. Again, that's critical if you're batting on this surface. That is one of the biggest challenges for non-Guyanese batters playing here at the National Stadium in Providence.
Yeah, we have a unique field set here. The third slip is very, very close. He has a helmet on as well because the balls aren't carrying to the fielders in the deep. They've decided to take a risk, take a punt, and use one of their fielders there quite close. It will be a sharp catch. Seems to be Justin Graves. There's some sea movement. Justin Graves, the fielder with the helmet. So still a very attacking field.
Well, the other things that could happen is, of course, Joshua De Silva making the adjustment for the balls that are not carrying evidence of that. But soft hands too from Tristan Stubbs, allowing for the pace to lessen from the bat. And just to add to that, usually those fielders in that slip cordon, they're guided by the wicket keepers. So once there is that advancement from Joshua De Silva closer to the stumps, it will mean that Jamel Warrican, Jason Holder will have to take a couple steps forward and closer as well. We've seen at times the first slip stand at the same line with the wicket keeper to give themselves a chance of taking a catch.
Yeah, quite interesting. We're having this conversation inside the first session of the first day of the test match in terms of the carry and the bounce of the surface and where the slip fielders are positioned. The expectation then is that as this test match continues, that bounce will get lower. Just a single from that over, 41 for 3.
Nicely played by Stubbs. And I suppose, Stacey and King, that when you're bowling like this, with this control, but with this pace and enjoying it this much in front of your home crowd, why wouldn't you want to continue?
Hello, Nicole. Hello, everyone. He's been exceptional during this morning phase. A little bit of seam movement, wobble seam movement. He's used the angle. It's been quite skiddy. But most importantly, he's picked up wickets. And he's asked questions of the South African batters.
Yeah, that shot right there, I think Craig Brathwaite in the West Indies will understand. You heard Bish talking about it earlier in terms of the line that they want to bowl to Stubbs. And in the first innings of that first test, they gave him a few deliveries that were straight and he pounced. Today, though, they've been so disciplined on that finishing on that 4 stump, that he's been controlled. 19 deliveries to get off the mark. It's been slow going for a player who likes to be expansive. So whoever the Pacers are today will want to ensure they can remain 4th, 5th, and make him be the patient one.
I don't think they'll mind that single very much because there has been a bit of a battle between Shamar Joseph and Bedingham. Doesn't seem very comfortable against Shamar Joseph.
Came a long way across, maybe doing too much. His leg stump was visible. They will think about it. Definitely with the angle, he's got the ball to cut back sharply. And yeah, I think they've decided it's doing too much.
A good decision from the umpire.
Umpire Siakat and his 12th test match. He's just lost a bit of that control in this over, and you can understand into the 7th over, he's still bowling at good speeds, close to 140 kilometers per hour. Understandably, maybe tiring. Runs from the over, but still asking questions. The Guyanese, 49 for 3. Just 127 there, but the impressive thing has been his pace, Joseph. Even in the 7th over of that first spell, was still clearing 140 kilometers per hour. I mentioned in the first session, this is what the West Indies missed in that Trinidad test. Just missing his line there. I also wonder, DG, if at some stage as the ball continues to get older, with the added pace of Joseph, they can potentially go to the short ball plan against Bedingham. They used it in the first test extensively. Holder had 2 fielders deep leg side before lunch, and potentially you could get a short leg in as well. He likes to play the pull. Maybe you can prize him out with his strength as that ball gets older.
It's a balance in the line of attack. Of course, keeping the batsman honest with some different options. Average effort in the field, which will allow for 3 runs. So not the ideal tone to start the post-lunch session. Casey Carty, guilty.
Shamar Joseph at mid-off before lunch misfielded off the bowling of Jason Holden. Now Carty. And they're building pressure nicely, the West Indies. They won't want to relieve it with those small lapses in the field.
Nickel views, for me, the biggest challenge for batters at the National Stadium here in Providence is how do they play deliveries that are pitched in that short length band, but those deliveries that still continue to hit the top of off, top of middle, top of leg, finish on the stumps. That's the challenge for batters. Do you play those deliveries off the front foot? Do you commit yourself deeper into the crease to play it off your back foot? What's the balance? What's the equilibrium to strike? Just there, in no man's land, short of a length delivery. In another surface, you can go deep onto your back foot and hit that comfortably square of the wicket. Not on this occasion. What he's trying to do is still keep that weight forward, but it's not ideal. It's like playing it from a position of not being forward and not being fully back with your weight.
$67 for 4. They've just kicked off the surface.
Just staying with that important role that Craig Brathwaite has to play. Doesn't want to overbowl any one particular bowler. Want to give confidence to everyone in your bowling lineup. Give them the opportunity to play a part in wicket taking.
Maybe doing too much. Joseph was very excited about it, but he was really the only one. Again, the ball doing a lot off the surface. Maybe that scramble seam again, and they will send it upstairs.
TV umpire to director, we have a player review for LBW. Original on-field decision is not out. I've checked the feet placement and it's a fair delivery. You can have a look at front on, please. Okay, just rock that back. Roll through nice and slowly. Okay, appears to have missed the bat. Can we confirm that with Ultra Edge, please? Okay, we've got clear daylight between bat and ball. Nice big gap. If we can have a look at ball tracking when ready, please. Okay, pitching outside off, impact in line, Wickets is umpire's call. Go back to Saikat on field to stay with his original decision of not out. You're on screen now. Please signal Saikat.
A lot closer than initially expected. Not a tall man, Joseph, so does get the ball to skid on. Bedingham was deep in his crease, but just going over, well, clipping, but not clipping enough. Very strong there. Anything on his pads or body line, he's exceptional against.
Bedingham easing into the conditions here at the National Stadium in Providence. With the time spent in the middle, he's grown accustomed to the pace, now the bounce, so hands relatively low, hitting still with a fairly vertical bat. But the timing suggests that he's settling in. Last thing Craig Brathwaite will want to do is to alienate a bowler like Gudakesh Moti. Went wicketless in the first test, hasn't bowled just yet. We're seeing this reliance on pace, and quite rightly so at the start of that post-lunch session. Usually captains go with two of their best bowlers. And he's done so far in this post-lunch session. Seals and Joseph. So again, at some point in time, I'd like to see Gudakesh Moti with the ball. Maybe the first change after these two post-lunch.
Joseph has 3. What a start to his home test career. The West Indies strike after lunch.
And not surprisingly, it's that foolish length delivery with pace on, luring the expansive drive with a vertical bat. There is a little bit of movement still from the surface. The line perfect. Just about 4th, 5th stump. And he conquers Bedingham. In his typical style, he celebrates. But this is a significant wicket. Bedingham departs for 28, 78 for 5.
Doesn't carry. You could just hear the shouting of Shamar Joseph as soon as it was nicked. It tells you about the excitement level of him, but also millions watching on television.
Another outside edge found. Hands going at the ball, reaching for the ball, head behind. Usually it's your head that guides everything else.
This spell of bowling from both ends. This is something for West Indian fans to be really intrigued about. Joseph, 24 years old, Seals, 22. If we can keep these guys playing Test cricket, obviously keep them fit as well. There's such a big ceiling for the West Indies fast bowling going forward in Test cricket. We saw glimpses of it in England, but this Joseph now, he looks really up, fired up. This is unbelievable bowling from the West Indies, and Shamar Joseph in Guyana, he's leading the way.
The speed demon
is in full flow. Shamar Joseph. Not only speed, but accuracy on display from the young right-arm seamer who hails from Guyana. He's putting on a show. Can he be the showman of this innings with the ball? Surely can. Maharaj goes without scoring. It's 88 for 7.
KJ Rabada. You're expecting to use the ball in these conditions. He's got to use his bat first. His family's come in, Shamar Joseph. You saw his girlfriend and sister there. They've come in from Baracara to watch him here. First time playing for the West Indies on home soil. And what a start it's been. Just persistent energy.
Finding the right length on this surface, that is what Shamar Joseph has done. Being from Guyana, he understands the conditions here. He's played first-class cricket at this venue, and he's using that to his full advantage. So important is home support, local support when you're competing at the international level. Did also see Ramnaresh Sawan at the ground today, chairman of selectors for the Guyana national cricket teams. Did mention Ramnaresh Sawan because he was quite instrumental in Shamar Joseph getting the opportunity to play first-class cricket. Ushering in a transition in cricket here in Guyana. Ramnaresh Sawan, former West Indian international batter. There's been a changing of the guards with a few older players to quite a number of younger players. Tevin Imlak, another one such player from Guyana who's in this West Indies test squad. 88 for 7.
West Indies happy to protect the square boundaries early in the over against Verena. Right now, they're not afraid for him to get that single, to get, if in the end result Rabada gets on strike. They just don't want to give the boundaries away square early in the over.
Yeah, 4 wickets in 3 test matches across in England for Shamar Joseph. Struggle there for him, but 4 wickets already in this test match. Missed the first test at the Queen's Park Oval, included here at home. And what a start to his home international career. What a start for him in this test match, on the cusp of another 5-wicket haul. Humble young man who enjoys his cricket, always with a smile on his face, his celebrations, something that we become used to. Aiden Markram left one that he should not have. That was the first, and then Temba Bavuma in the same over, a double strike. And then just after lunch, Bedingham, and then cleaned up. That's the 4 wickets that he's taken so far. Intensity from the young man. Yeah, the wickets are those in red, but just the line that he's attacked, he's varied his length quite significantly. A good conglomeration in that 6 to 8 meter length, 50% of his deliveries, but he's shown good variations. And some of those short deliveries actually kept a little bit low.
Rabada himself will know that when his turn comes to bowl, there will still be something in the surface for him. That lateral movement is exaggerated. Now, if he can just line it up to touch it down, maybe on middle and off stump, with that same movement, he'll be hoping for results. Overcompensated, 2 straight.
What a transformation for Shamar Joseph, and almost a meteoric rise from the doldrums of first-class cricket to his exploit at the international level, and his story is widely publicized, well known. You can see the smiles on their faces, and quite understandably so, given the state of play. South Africa 93 for 8 and in danger of being dislodged under that 3-figure mark. This man has been the chief architect of their demise. Can they finish things off? Just wonder how Verena will look to tackle the next few overs or so, how much faith he has in Dane Peat, who does have a first-class century to his name, average of just around that 16 mark or so. Does he look to take strike as much as he can, be a little bit more aggressive, or does he trust Dane Peat?
Still looking to get the wicket, but also hoping to keep Verena down that end with a cover fielder in position. No single available. Still 93 for 8. He has a fifer, his third fifer in Test match cricket, and that in his first Test match on his home territory. The sparse crowd here are loving it. I'm telling you, those viewing by television, fans of his, are also loving it. This has been brilliant from Shamar.
Sensational Shamar here at the National Stadium in Guyana. Around his legs, Kyle Verena, too much across to offside, and his leg stump goes for a walk. He's perplexed and he's jubilant. Look at the celebration from the young man. First 5-wicket haul in Test match cricket at home in many regards here in Guyana and here in the West Indies. Verena goes for 21, 97 for 9.
And time for a Blue Waters drinks break.
So Shamar Joseph is now the second West Indian to take a 5-wicket haul in Test cricket at Providence. Darren Sammy also took 5 in 29 right here in 2011. And Shamar has an opportunity to maybe record the best figures here at Providence.
So exciting, this day one of the second test between South Africa and the West Indies. 9 wickets to fall. The last wicket, that of Kyle Verena, playing around this one from Shamar Joseph. Leg stump being knocked back, shuffling too far across offside, trying to cover the line. But what excitement and celebrations for the young right-hand fast bowler from Guyana, delivering excellence in front of his family and home crowd. Andre Berger, the last South African batter. Keeps bringing surprises to West Indian fans and cricket fans across the globe. There is that spark of excitement when you're viewing this man on screen in action at the international level, and more so in red ball cricket. How destructive he was against Australia at the Gabba. Now for the West Indies against South Africa in home conditions, showcasing his elements as a fast bowler. Is that close enough to give him a 6 for? Not out, says the umpire. Saikat from Bangladesh. And they've taken the review.
West Indies have taken the review.
TV umpire to director, we have a player review for LBW. Original on-field decision is not out. I've checked the feet placement and it's a fair delivery. If you can have a look at front on, please. Okay, just rock that back. Okay, let's have a look at ultra edge just to confirm no inside edge, please. Roll it through nice and slowly. Okay, we've got a clear gap between bat and ball. We can go to ball tracking when ready, please. Yeah, just waiting for ball tracking. Okay, pitching in line, impact in line, wickets missing. We'll go back to Saikat on field to stay with his original decision of not out.
Fabulous initial decision from umpire Shahid Saikat. Review loss by the West Indies. Joseph will try again.
And you could understand the enthusiasm from Shamar Joseph. He's picked up 5 wickets, magnificently bowled. High-class test match bowling. Seamers, West Indies seamers, they've looked unstoppable.
Appears to be getting a little too eager to get this final wicket. With Markram shouldered arms. Got his off some knockback, and the Bavuma was strapped LBW. Leaving Bedingham nicked one through. And then there was one that sneaked through to Vian Mulder, the last wicket out of Kyle Verena. Getting his leg stump pegged back. More runs here for South Africa.
And you can understand why Craig Brathwaite has opted to hold that extended spell. Just the 1 wicket remaining. He scored just 103 for 9.
What should be his next change, Stacey Ann King, in terms of bowlers to follow either one of these two in operation?
There might be an option, well, a few options. Jason Holder has only bowled 8 overs. I might just want to introduce a spin. Oricon, the only spinner to have been used. He has bowled 5 overs. Yeah, just the 4 bowlers used 1 spinner. Haven't seen Gudakesh Moti. So a few options remaining for Craig Brathwaite.
I'm sure familiarity with the conditions here at the National Stadium in Providence would have tipped a continuation with Gudakesh Moti in the starting 11 for this second test, despite him going wicketless in the last test match. Pitch itself with a fair amount of root structure, allowing for lateral movement. So the response of the pitch to the fast bowlers in particular, seam, lateral movement, a great challenge for batters in that first session of day one. Still a little bit of movement on offer for the bowlers. Haven't seen significant turn in those 5 overs bowled by Jamel Warrican.
And you think about those points, and it almost makes you think that from a West Indian perspective that they may not mind very much these two batting another possibly 5 overs, 10 overs, but just not scoring. Because when you look at the lineup from South Africa, Rabada is probably eyeing his chances as to what he can get out of this pitch.
Tell you what, the last thing as an opening batter for you to experience is that frustration of a number 10, number 11 batter lingering in an innings while you await for the opportunity to bat. Shamar Joseph may be suffering with cramps due to this extended spell. It's very hot, very, very hot. So maybe a bit of dehydration as well. He is a fit man, maintains that fitness, prides himself on the work that he does, his strength and conditioning of the highest standard amongst the West Indian players.
Yeah, just to throw your minds back to that Australian test where he was injured. Had a toe injury. Gave a lot of credit to the gentleman on screen, Dennis Byam, as to ensuring that he was fit with a toe injury to win that test, to help win that test match in Australia.
I guess it begs the question as to whether Craig Brathwaite should persist and continue with this extended spell. And there's always that risk of dehydration, injury. Wouldn't want to lose the services of a Shamar Joseph, especially in that second innings as we approach the close of this first innings. So a slight pause, a slight delay now. Shamar Joseph, wickets, another 5 for his third. Temba Bavuma, along with Bedingham, Keshav Maharaj and Kyle Verena, all victims of this pace demon from the West Indies.
Yeah, just the one delivery to go for him.
Should be the end of his spell, Stacey and King and viewers. Can he close the innings out? Finish with a 6 for. Here's Shamar Joseph. Final delivery of the over. Serves up a juicy full toss. Doesn't concede a run. 106 for 9.